Today guys we are going to discuss about the topic correlation. As we all know that correlation is just an examining the relationship between two variables or just going through the analysis or association of that variables. Okay, so for simply saying we can take an example of price and demand. Whether there is any significant relationship between price and demand? Yes. When price increases, demand decreases, and when price decreases, demand increases. Okay, likewise we can similarly examine many types of variables that will purely depend upon the statistical calculations or business related matters or any other things. Okay, so correlation can be applied by any persons which is a working woman or a housewife or a student or any other persons can be useful with this correlation analysis. Okay, and this correlation can be divided into positive and negative, linear and non-linear, simple, partial and multiple correlations. Okay, then in the positive and negative correlation, either it may be positive or negative value. After finding out all these procedures, we get a correlation value which represents in the alphabet R. In that value, either it may be positive or negative. And one condition is there when values of two variables move in the same direction, that it is, if it is a positive correlation, the two values will be positive. Okay, when it is a negative correlation, the R value, that is correlation value, will be negative. For example, we can take it as a price and supply. When price increases, supply also increases. When price decreases, supply also decreases. But there is an inverse relationship between price and demand. That is, when price increases, demand decreases. That is an inverse relationship. So this is the positive and negative correlation. Then moving on to linear and non-linear correlation. What is linear and non-linear? Amount of change in one variable leads to a constant ratio of change in the other variable. Okay, that is in the same level. If one variable changes, the other variable also will have some changes. And amount of change in one variable is not in constant ratio to the change in the other variable. That is called as non-linear correlation. So as we know, if price increases, demand decreases. That is a linear correlation. Okay, and for non-linear correlation, in economics we know that substitute goods, right? If the price of tea increases, then the customer can choose coffee. There is a substitute. So for the substitute goods, there will be a linear correlation. That is, the amount of change in one variable will not much affect, or there will not be much effect on the customers about increase in that price. Okay, that is called as non-linear correlation. Next we have simple, partial and multiple correlation. If there are only two variables, then it is called simple correlation. If one variable is related to a number of another variables, then it is not simple correlation. Or it is related to other variables, it is not simple correlation. And when we measure the degree of association between one variable on one side and all other variables together on other side, it is called multiple correlation. Okay, so we have to study this simple, not simple and multiple correlation in problem. So I will explain that. Once more, if there are only two variables, then it will be simple. One variable is related to a number of other, it is not simple. Then measure the degree of association between one variable on one side and all other variables together on the other side, it will be multiple correlation. For example, customer satisfaction will be on one side. This customer satisfaction will be decided by the other factors which comes under the other side. That may be their taste and preference, their uniqueness, their lifestyle, their culture. All those variables can be come under the other side. So we can measure the degree of association between this customer satisfaction and all other variables. Next we are going to study about the methods of correlation, that is scatter diagram, correlation graph, coefficient of correlation. Okay, so I have given the material, so you can see there and study as it is a symbol. Okay, scatter diagram means the correlation will not be in a line or will not be in a proper way, it is scattered somewhere. and the other one is correlation graphic method, and theory portion is there. Coefficient of correlation is also there. Just go through that. It is not that much important one. Just go through the theory. The important topic is Karl-Pearson's coefficient of correlation. Okay, so Karl-Pearson's coefficient of correlation, it is mainly defined as a method of measuring the correlation for examining the relationship between the two variables. Okay, so it is defined as a formula n sigma xy minus sigma x into sigma y divided by root of n sigma x square minus sigma x square root of n sigma y square minus sigma y square. Okay, so in this question we have given x value and as well as y value. This is the common formula is being used, and some other formulas are there also in your material, and which is related to the deviation of the assumed mean. Okay, and that can be used only in some problems, and for all other problems you can use this formula. So here we have x values such as 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and the y values 4 5 6 12 9 5 4. Okay, so in this formula we have to find sigma xy, sigma x into sigma xy, then sigma x square, then sigma y square, and the whole square. Okay, so write down it as an x value, y value, then find out x into y, then find out x square, then y square. Okay, so we have x value as 35, y value as, that is sigma y as 45, sigma xy as 228, sigma x square as 203, and sigma y square as 343. So while applying the formula, write the formula first. Then what is n? We have to calculate how many numbers of x values are there, or y values. So we have 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. 2 to 8 is, that is we have n as 7. 7 into sigma xy is 228, and sigma x is 35, sigma y is 45. Then again as a denominator, root of n, 7 into sigma x square as 203 minus sigma x square. It is not sigma x square, sigma x bracket the whole square. Okay, so you have to take sigma x value, then put square to that value, that is 35. It is not sigma x square. Just listen. Next is 7 into 343, that is sigma y square minus sigma y the whole square. Okay, then 45 square. So we, after calculating all these values, we will get 0.077.